What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Rado Reactions. I'm your host, Rado. Today we're going to be doing something really fun. We're going to be doing some Graham Norton Try Not to Laugh reactions. We're going to try not to laugh to these. I mean, I love the Graham Norton show. It's a great late night talk show on the UK. You guys should definitely check it out. It's pretty much like Jimmy Fallon over here, but I love what he talks about the guests with. He just has so many guests at one time, and they just have such a comfortable feeling around each other. They really talk to each other. So let's go ahead and check this out. This is Graham Norton, Try Not to Laugh, Part 1. Let's try not to laugh. Here we go.
Answer this question if you don't want to, Patrick. Okay. But I don't know why you brought this up, but I did hear you discuss that you had an extraordinary disagreement with your wife about yourself. Do you know what I'm talking about?
By myself, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh. Listen, listen. Do you know this story?
I do not know
Listen
this
with
story.
interest.
One night, as you do, we were talking about stuff. And I just happened to mention, and of course, being circumcised, I said...
They were chatting. They're married. They're married. They're allowed.
And she said, you're not circumcised. I said, what do you mean? You've only known me all my life. I remember my mother telling me. Why? Because it was fashionable at the time. She said, you're not circumcised. I said, that's ridiculous. I should know if I'm circumcised. Of course I am. End of conversation. But the next day, I happened to be seeing my doctor. Are you okay?
Patrick Stewart is awesome. He is awesome.
I was seeing my doctor for my annual physical.
Of course.
Right,
So,
right.
while he was down there...
Of course.
I said...
While he was down there.
Oh, by the way...
What happened?
Irv, my wife and I had a little disagreement.
We have a little disagreement.
Circumcised, aren't I? Because she says I'm not. And he goes... Not.
He said, nah.
I said, no, it's not possible. So he looked down again and he said, hey, I'm Jewish. I know the difference.
That is a bizarre story.
Too much.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. He's like, I can't believe I told that. I can't believe I told that story. He's like, I got grandchildren. Oh, man.
You're going to have to change your Facebook status now.
No more beef stew.
What? There's more beef stew. Were you born in Hawaii?
I wasn't
That
born
was
in Hawaii.
hilarious.
I was
You
born
lived there.
in
You gotta
San
give it to
Francisco,
him.
but I
Come on now,
did a
that
lot of
was
my
so
growing up
funny.
there. So yeah, so it was amazing. I don't know. I don't think. No.
You told me.
I didn't.
Oh, you know this is going to be funny. You got The Rock and Kevin Hart. Come on now. This is going to be hilarious right here. I can't wait. Can't wait for this. Let's see this.
No, I told
I
you.
swore you said.
I've known you for years. I've always said I was
But when
born
we
in
were
San
there, you gave me a big speech like, "This is my land." I started. I swore you told me. Now all of a sudden, San Fran. That was San Fran. Then I transferred. When we were there, you gave me a very spiritual
Detailed
speech about how it all started. How your mother held you over this cliff.
Hey, he said your mother held you over this cliff.
This is the cliff where I was born, and my mother gave me.
He is Hawaiian, isn't he?
This is the problem. Yes. Try to be respectful. Hawaii was beautiful.
Right, he's Hawaiian.
Beautiful, mountainside and lushness, and we shot in this beautiful place called Kualoa Ranch, where Jurassic Park, the original Jurassic Park, was shot, and the ones after that as well, and it was just amazing.
But you didn't like it, Kevin.
He hated it. No, this is the problem.
I didn't like it at all. I mean, outside of the spiritual grounds that you took me to, and I swore you even sung a song. You were like,
He said he sung a song. No, I didn't.
I remember. I specific. We'll talk about it later.
Well, how'd the song go?
The song. You were like, Kula Matana.
He said, Kuna Matata.
Yeah, that sounds like an original.
So did you bring your medals with you? No. Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you might be wearing
in his
them.
pocket.
Oh, no, they're just casually in the back pocket.
Who's he, like a...
So we go, but
Look, these are proper Olympic medals. Wow. Marion, have you seen an Olympic medal?
I actually did. Yeah.
the French lads beat us.
Oh, was it French people beat you? Oh, the French got gold.
We'll have to go after them, boys.
Is there anyone in Ireland who hasn't seen those medals?
Right.
They look like they're around the block, those medals.
They're fairly tattered, yeah.
And of course, now, Michael, down in Killarney, word must have reached you of the O'Donovan brothers.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I wasn't in Killarney at the time, but everybody knew about it. That's for sure. Yeah.
Right. And Marion, watching that clip on could you understand the accents?
Nothing,
No,
not
I
a word.
don't.
I understood
Irish.
since. Just that word. I was like,
The movie set with Michael with his thick Kerry accent.
I don't understand. What did you just say? Please, someone tell me.
So listen, because the people loved the interviews you did during the Olympics, but like you guys knew you were being funny while you were doing the interviews.
I don't know.
They're definitely funny.
They were being themselves.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, we weren't trying to be serious,
yeah.
like, but
Yeah.
it just, yeah.
You did
Just
seem
kind of happened that way, like.
You
yeah.
did seem very happy to be in Rio.
I was quite serious about the whole situation, though. Everything we told us the truth, like.
Yeah.
And you have to understand, like, people ask us these questions all the time after races. It just so happened they put a camera in front of us in Rio.
And also, you won a silver medal, so
Right.
suddenly everyone
Yeah,
was
yeah.
interested.
They had something to talk about.
But the great thing is, this is like Ireland has never won any medal in rowing before, have they?
Oh, it's
Well,
wrong.
no, it's Olympics. No, they have a few world championship
Yeah.
titles, all right, but it's the first Olympic medal, yeah.
Woohoo!
Nice.
Very good.
That's dope.
And the interview where you talked about your approach to the race, the phrases you used in that. So explain to the people what you said in that. Do you know
Which
the one?
one?
What did we say?
About going A to B fast as you can.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, tis a fairly simple sport, like.
I mean, rowing. You row.
Start line to the finish line. And
That's it.
Quite complicated here.
What can you really do?
Too complicated, like. And you
Just, yeah.
It's got to go
the men says
straight.
go at the start and there's a hooter at the finish, and if you can get from
That's all you got to do.
No bullshit, like.
I'm trying to think, this is
That was
based
good.
on
That
your
was
life.
good.
I mean, this is
I'm not gonna lie.
things-
That was a good one. That was a good one. Oh, this story, I will say I've heard before. This one right here, it's a classic from Greg Davies, and Jodie Foster's there. I think it was Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe, if I'm not mistaken. This is a classic right here. We have to watch this one. Ooh, Greg Davies is hilarious.
Graham.
No, but things like, isn't the washing machine, that
Oh,
happened
this is
to you.
this story. Yes, this is the one.
The
I know.
washing, you were very hungover.
Oh. Yeah.
Go on, tell Jodie Foster that story.
All their stories are really cool, though, Graham. When I was teaching, which is what this show is based on, I went home one weekend, and I was in my 30s. I was probably 33 years of age. I went home to see my mother, and then I went back, and while I was at home, my mother did my washing for me, because I was only 33. And then I went back, and on the Sunday night, I got really drunk, and then I went for a curry.
Oh.
And then the next day, I went into school.
Ooh, what happened then?
I went into
Tell
school,
us.
and it was a school in Slough, and it was quite a rough school, but they had a really brilliant hearing impaired department. So there were hearing impaired kids who, struggled. They were really looked after in the school. Anyway, I was really hungover. I went there, and about break time, I felt really uncomfortable. I thought something's not right, you know. So I went to the toilet, and I pulled my trousers down, and some of my mother's knickers had got. I got mixed up in the wash she'd done, and I was wearing my mother's underwear. And I went, oh, God, no. Oh, I remember going, oh, you loser, this is such a low point, you fucking loser. And then the curry and the booze kicked in from the night before. So I did like a fecal Jackson Pollock.
Giggles Jackson Pollock.
And I
bro,
started-
that's a deep cut.
I started
deep
going, oh,
cut.
God,
Jackson
not this.
Pollock was a
Not this as
artist,
well.
painter.
Oh,
Check him out.
Jesus. So I cleaned myself up and I pulled my mother's pants back up. And I went back into the classroom and I saw one of the hearing impaired kids just looking at me like this. And that's when I remembered that I had a microphone directly.
Not good.
Here we go.
A lot of young actors, they revere you, so they look to you. But the other thing you inspire is impressions, people doing impressions. Now, when people do impressions of you, is it like sort of nails on a chalkboard, or do you kind of enjoy it?
I mean,
No, I kind of enjoy it, especially if they do it well.
nice.
So, no, it's great. I love it.
I only ask. No, because any Hiddlestoners watching will know.
Hiddlestoners?
Tom Hiddleston
What?
does impressions. You do impressions of lots of people. So who is in your canon?
It's a expression of admiration, just to be clear. So I do impressions of people that I admire, and I sort of listen to them. The first time I did an impression that anyone was aware of, I was just telling a story about Midnight in Paris, the Woody Allen film I was in, and how I'd never read the whole script, and I thought it was set in the 20s. And I turned up and I bumped into Owen Wilson, who didn't look like he was in the 20s at all. And I said to him, so wait, hang on, who are you playing? Because I'm playing F. Scott Fitzgerald, and I know Corey Stoll's playing Ernest Hemingway, and we're all playing figures of history. And he went, oh, no. I'm from now. I go back in time.
That's a pretty good Owen.
There's a time machine.
Oh, no.
It's kind of cool, and it's kind of woody, and it's kind of awesome.
Very good.
Pretty cool.
I've been made to do impressions of my fellow Avengers. I think everyone does an impression of Christopher Walken because he's such an easy kind of.
You know,
I feel like what this show needs is more cowbell. It depends on what
Christopher
you like me to
Walken.
say.
What do you want?
Basically, there's
from
no
me?
punctuation.
No punctuation
Anything
in
that
the senses.
comes out of my mouth.
Pretty good. Pretty good. You get it going.
I know whole pages of Heat.
You surprised me.
So there's the scene in the middle of the film, which you'll be familiar with. You were there.
You said you'll be familiar with.
the one
filmed
person
it.
you don't need to explain it to.
Right.
He remembers.
You're very good in this.
He
bit.
remembers. There's a
Good
scene
this part.
in the middle of the film, which is because Al Pacino and Robert Dinero.
He's there.
Sorry about this.
It's probably weird talking about him.
Like a great thriller, they're separated for the entire film, and they meet twice, once at the end and once in the middle.
Great
and
movie.
it takes place at a restaurant
Al
in LA.
Pacino,
It's a great scene. It's
Dinero.
one of the great pieces of screen acting you can hope to watch. There it is. There's a picture.
Great film.
It's like it's a mutual recognition of each other. Anyway, so there's a bit where they sit and have coffee and have tea and talk about stuff. I'm going on, I apologize. Anyway, so Al Pacino at one point, Al Pacino says this. He goes, so, we're sitting here like a couple of regular fellas. I mean, you do what you do, I do what I gotta do. If I'm there and I gotta put you away, I won't like it. But if it's between you and some poor bastard whose wife you're gonna turn into a widow, brother, you are going down.
Not bad. Not bad. That's a pretty good Al Pacino.
And so then,
Brother, you're going down. Hey, you're either gonna be quarterback, Willie, or you're not. Willie Beeman I'm talking about. And I'm Al, the coach.
and then Michael Mann
That's
cuts
my Al
back to
Pacino.
the esteemed gentleman at the end of the sofa.
That is Pacino.
What if you do got me boxed in?
What if you do got me?
I'm not gonna put you down.
I'm gonna put you down.
We've been face to face. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will not hesitate. Not for a second.
No.
That's my...
Not bad. Not too bad. I've heard better. But his was not bad. I'll give it to him.
This is so meta.
I bet.
I feel like I've gone into a parallel universe where
You're playing all these parts.
Yes, I apologise.
No, that's great.
Yeah, I did an impression of Ken Branagh.
That was my favorite scene in the
Was
movie.
it your favorite scene?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it
Nice.
still?
Yeah.
Is it still? He said.
My favorite scene that was written before, not because of doing it, but my favorite scene written in the film.
Oh, nice.
You know, that's
It's a great piece of writing.
Yeah, it's great.
It feels like it plays in two singles in a way. Like
Yeah,
it just,
yeah,
and
yeah.
And it's like the most beautiful game of tennis.
Did you each do lots of takes? Did you do lots of
I
takes?
forget how many takes we did. I don't think we did more than 5 to 8 or 9 at the most. Maybe less.
And you talk about your dreams and you talk about your life. It's so great. There's that bit, another bit where you go. He says, Pacino says, so you never wanted a regular type life. and Bob, may I call you Bob?
Yeah. Bob, he's got him at
Bob says, what's that, barbecues and ball games? Yeah. Emilia, obviously your mother loves you because you're her daughter, but she is actually a sort of a
Emilia
fan as
Clarke,
well.
everybody. Game of Thrones star. Of course, she's had some great films, some love films after that. Let's see what she's got.
No, it's not quite that. It's, no, she is. Oh, goodness, right. Yeah. So, my...
Her mother is a super fan.
One day, my mum came to set on the Star Wars set, and I was getting this thing called Cyberscanned, which is where you stand in this kind of loads of cameras, and they kind of take your form and put you into a computer and make a toy or some sort of merchandise, or your face on a cushion. And so I go off and do this, and I come back, and Mum's like, I've made a great friend. And I'm like, brilliant, it's lovely, excellent. And she's like, it's the merchandise, you know, director of all of Star Wars or something. And I'm like, wow, that's very impressive. And then, before I know it, what comes in the post is loads of cushions with my face on it. So my mum gets to see it a fair amount, you know. But apparently it's not enough. So I was kind of blown away at how much merchandise there is.
Yes,
it's really, and it's not even, I mean, it's just the beginning. It was like the pre-merchandise. Not even the real stuff is out yet, and my mum has all of it.
She's got the
and
good
doesn't know
stuff.
about the doll yet. So we'll
this is so weird. I don't know. Is this in your flat or her house?
Oh, God, no.
This room?
Right. Okay. So basically, she thought it'd be really funny if I came home and it was everywhere in my.
Okay. So this is Emilia's actual bedroom.
Well.
You're doing this.
It's like a joke, and then
That's pretty funny.
And then oh my goodness, and we found the photo, but it's not like that now.
It's not like
there is
that
another
now.
reason why I'm single.
Took a first date back to that.
Yeah. Come on in. I just did this little thing once. I don't have a CV, I just have a bedroom.
But this is cool, though. So your mother, a big fan, but Brad Pitt, also a very big fan.
That was the best night of my life.
Yes.
Literally.
Brad Pitt?
Tell the story quickly.
Man, best night of my life, she said.
Yeah, there was a duvet.
We're all ears.
There was a duvet.
Sheets, slippers. No, yeah, there was this auction thing that happened, and they called me and said, "Would do you want to auction something off, like maybe sort of an experience, watching the show with you or something?" And I was like, "Okay, it's lovely. It's great for charity. Yeah. It'll be for some, something. Yeah. And it'll be fine." Anyway, so I get there, and it's basically it'll be a good thing. I get there and it's basically like this. It's basically it's the Oscars. Like there's so many celebrities in this room, and I suddenly remember that I said that I would auction something off. And so the fear grows. So I was petrified, absolutely petrified. And then the person whose table I was on is a friend, and he was being very kind and kind of put the paddle up, and I was like, thanks very much. That's very sweet. That'll be that.
That'll
And
be
then
that.
someone else's paddle up went up across the other side of the room, and I didn't really know. And then suddenly it was sort of becoming a bit of money, and I was kind of thinking, oh, this is absolutely mental. And someone went, it's Brad Pitt, and I was like, lol. Sure. Yeah, exactly. And I look over to the room, and he's got his paddle up.
Brad's paddle.
Brad's paddle.
Brad's paddle.
Was the paddle involved in the experience?
No, not quite. Well, it didn't work out because the person who was my friend, I think it was probably all set up. The person who was my friend ended up, you know, doing the highest bid. But
Hey, she almost
But
had
yeah,
an
I
eye
just
with
kind
Brad
of
Pitt,
looked
I
over
guess.
with just the most insane emoji heart eyes, being like, "This is just the greatest moment of my life."
That was pretty funny. That was pretty funny. I gotta give it to him. What do you guys think? That was Try Not to Laugh, Graham Norton Part 1. Obviously, I didn't succeed. I laughed a lot. It was funny. I mean, the Patrick Stewart story from the beginning, oh my God. And then Kevin Hart, of course, he's always funny. I mean, even Emilia's story was pretty funny. You got to give it to her. Her mom being a super fan, that's hilarious. I love all these stories. We're going to do all the other parts as well. We're gonna keep going with these. Hope you guys enjoy Graham Norton, and check out my other reactions down below. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and click the bell so you guys know whenever I put a post up. Also, make sure that you guys like the video. That'll help me get my engagement up. Lets me know you guys like content like this. So we'll see you guys next time on Rado Reactions. Thanks again for being here. Peace, y'all.